crash underneath, sound like thunder speaking. Flying carbon machines, driven by the world's best, yes. Powered by nature, raw passion, all action. When it takes, racing on water, racing with impact. Give it all, everything, give it all, everything. We are racing. When it takes, we are SailGP.
And we welcome you to our recap of the Mubadala Abu Dhabi Sail Grand Prix 2025 Season Grand Final from the Middle East. I'm Todd Harris, and what a season it was, and what a way to close things out as we bring down the curtain on the 5th season of SailGP. All eyes were on the 4 teams battling for just 3 spots in the Grand Final, and in the end, it did not disappoint.
The Rolex SailGP trophy arrived yesterday, courtesy of Hanshi, on the season-defining Mubadala Abu Dhabi Sail Grand Prix Grand Final, with a $3.2 million prize pool on the line. Tensions were running high for each and every world-class team.
Who's got their timing right as the line turns white?
Germany Deutsche Bank maintained their end-of-season form in race 1.
Yeah, you've got to be happy with that.
But the story for the Grand Final raged on, with EmiratesGBR and the Black Foils with a more comfortable points cushion. It is a battle between Los Gallos and the Bonds Flying Rouge for the last Grand Final spot.
This whole race to the Grand Final is so on right now.
It was Denmark that ran away with the Day 1 scorecard, taking back-to-back victories in races 2 and 3.
Serhested on fire today.
And Australia's Tom Slingsby clawed back critical points after being over the line again in race 3.
Sometimes you can get a bit lucky, and sometimes the door opens up.
In the final race, it was all on Spain to keep themselves with a chance to make the Grand Final. But this was not the start they needed.
As early start penalty, France, Spain and Canada.
With Switzerland claiming the final race.
We're over for the Swiss.
And another top result for Rockwell, Denmark. The entire fleet is eyeing up this event's prize money.
And I'm glad now to welcome into our SailGP studios former EmiratesGBR team member Hannah Diamond and Olympian Stevie Morrison. Hannah, start with you. What a big week coming to this. What were you anticipating most?
Well, I definitely wasn't anticipating the top 4 teams going into this weekend being at the back of the leaderboard after day 1. So there was a lot of pressure on today and some really close racing and really difficult conditions, but an amazing day of racing for
sure. And you, Stevie?
Yeah, I just thought, this light winds is a nightmare if you're trying to sort of control the controllable, which is what all those teams have been saying. Let's control our world, try and dominate our start and process and all the rest of it. And yeah, that light wind is a nightmare because there's so many variables and just fractions make a big difference. And ultimately, yeah, like Hannah says, they're all at the back of the pack. None of them really sailing great. We saw the British had 1 race on today, on Sunday, and where they actually stretched their legs, got in the lead, and jumped out and looked, they're sailing the boat well. But all the other teams that made the final, we ended up with status quo, didn't we? We ended up with Emirates Great Britain, Bonds Flying Rouge, and the Black Foils in the final. But none of them, I felt, really got a chance to warm up before the final itself because they were all just scrapping in the pack.
The 6 fleet races really served as the starter or the hors d'oeuvres for the main event, which was the Grand Final. And as Stevie said, it became a chalk situation where the 3 teams coming in the top 3 positions ended up in the 3. Hannah, was that a big surprise to you, or did you think Spain was really going to pull off maybe the comeback of the year?
I thought they had a chance, but as every race went on, they kind of never took the opportunity, and the pressure rose and rose and rose with the points with them having to have to the Australians. It just became harder and harder. And even with the Australians, the Bonds Flying Rouge really not sailing that well, they never got that separation to give themselves a chance to make it to the Grand Final.
And as a fan of sailing, we were kind of hoping that Spain would do something to bring us the drama.
Yeah, I just was surprised. I don't think Australia would have thought they could sail that badly. Yeah. And I don't think Spain would have thought all we actually needed to do was finish 7th. So the fact that both those teams were right at the bottom was, we couldn't write it really, but that's what happened.
And as Stevie said, in the end, it was EmiratesGBR, the Black Foils of New Zealand, and the Bonds Flying Rouge of Australia. Let's show you what happened.
Dylan Fletcher, an Olympic gold medalist, and now a SailGP champion. Let's go back to the start once again. Tom Slingsby made first contact. He forced the issue, and you thought, okay, it's a complete Bonds Flying Rouge moment.
Yeah, from here it looked like the Bonds Flying Rouge had a huge advantage. But, these races are never over till they're over. EmiratesGBR choosing to split. But it was ultimately this first manoeuvre on this upwind leg where the Bonds Flying Rouge fell off the foil, which allowed the 2 boats behind to catch up, really open the race again.
Yeah, I'm still surprised they didn't take the right turn. Just to the eye with the helicopter, it looked a lot less sailing and a wider bit of the course away from the fans. So obviously, you know, it's easy in hindsight, this game, isn't it? And same for New Zealand. They just didn't get in the game, and the split here was crucial, Todd.
Halfway point through the race, guys, they're in third place. They're in last place. You think, well, it wasn't meant to be. What was it about EmiratesGBR that did they see more wind? Did they play the right strategy? Explain it to us.
Well, I think they were happy to split from where they were in position on the course, and the angle of the wind, they just spotted that and it allowed them to sail all the way down the course.
One of the great things about this grand final, Stevie Morrison, is each team took an opportunity being first, second, and third.
Yeah, well, I mean, I said before the event, I said whoever leads at Mark 1 is going to be gone and have the advantage. And actually all that ended up happening was that Slingsby had to make the first decision. And at gate 2 there was that chance to split. I was surprised he didn't do it from looking at it, but again, that's easy in hindsight, isn't it? And then the Black Foils are in the lead and you thought, oh, they're gone, they're down the road. But then the wind was shifty, wasn't it, Han? And the British just ended up in phase when we got to gate 3. And I mean, what a moment that was.
Yeah, and to see all 3 boats reaching gate 3 simultaneously, and the EmiratesGBR take that split, take the right turn, like you say, in phase with the wind, and ultimately that was the decision of the race.
And this here, where they just dipped behind the Aussies, they slowed up, dipped behind the Aussies and stayed on the foils. The timing of that manoeuvre there to stay foiling as they went around. So yes, they're at the back of the pack at this moment, but they're going nearly twice as quick. And then you can see they're sailing almost parallel to the course. One more manoeuvre and you're aiming straight down at the final gate, and it's just done. It was like 200 metres in the blink of an eye.
Hannah, be honest. Is there a point in the race where you thought your former teammates had just mucked it up and there's no chance they're going to win?
Well, I thought right from the beginning, actually. They were pretty late to enter the start box, and I'm sure they would have felt quite a lot of pressure, a little bit of stress on board, being able to time their run back to the start. But it wasn't the case that the boat that got away at Mark 1 stayed ahead. We knew there was shifts, there was variations in wind strength and direction, so there was always going to be an opportunity to get back, and they took it.
I love the fact that it had a little bit of everything. I mean, you had so many great stories. You had the 3-time champions Australians who just clawed their way into finals right and left. They only won one event this year. You had EmiratesGBR, the most consistent team, so you thought, oh, they're a shoo-in. And then you have Pete Burling coming in, who hasn't won a title in SailGP, with nearly taking his finger off.
Yeah, and he made such a brave call after gate 2 and just crossed the Australians, took the lead. But I think Hannah actually spotted it, and it was the British were super aggressive into their manoeuvres. They really sailed the boat fast before the manoeuvres, and they actually managed a couple of foiling tacks, whereas the other teams were calling touch and go. And you know, that's possibly something they've done behind the scenes with the coaching team and everything like that. But they were brave, they took a risk, and that's really, we see the season championships, you know, they sit at the top of that over the year, and they've grown into that through the season, haven't they?
So in the end, it was EmiratesGBR on top. It was the Bonds Flying Roos finishing in second and the Black Foils finishing third. Not a lot of people are going to remember second, third, and fourth, but they're going to remember EmiratesGBR in the season they had. Yeah, that's right. And, you know, what a race it was, ending up being in the final. It was amazing to see so many lead changes. You know, we've said so many times before what an advantage it is to lead at Mark 1, but I think the final race gave us all the action we were looking for at the end of the season. Oh, those are our thoughts in the international broadcast booth here as we recap SailGP Season 5. Let's take it back to Abu Dhabi, and Lisa and Alex were on site.
Thanks so much, Todd. Well, Alex and I are here trying to grab the winning team away from their celebrations.
It's gone.
Well, we might grab Goobs quickly. Goobs, what does it mean to have the win?
I mean, you can see what it means to have the win. It's just gratification for all the hard work everyone's put in over the year. And I mean, it's felt like this year was our year. Everything's been falling into place and we've been sailing really well. So to finish it off is just a cherry on top.
Hannah, you got a clean sweep. You got the In-Black League, you got the Season Points Championship and the Rolex SailGP Championship. Sum up in your words, how does that feel?
Honestly, unbelievable. SailGP is just so hard to win. Like, everyone's amazing, and there's so much jeopardy, especially in that last race. So to do it is just, unreal.
Speaking of that last race, you guys were trailing going into that first gate or second gate, and then you just went for the other side and went for it. Were you nervous at any point that you weren't going to do it?
I mean, not really. You never know what's going to happen, but we raced how we wanted to race. We took the right decisions when we could, and we stayed in the game, and it came good at the end, so yeah.
Fantastic.
Well, Goobs, I mean, so much of the hard work we don't see. Obviously, it all comes down to one moment. How hard has the team been working all year?
Yeah, I mean, in between events this year, we've really stepped it up, and everyone's been doing their homework and feeding in, and I think if you stand still, you get overtaken. So it's been good to see how much improvement we've had through the year, and we've kept that rolling even if we're having good events. So that's great.
Well, we better let these two go celebrate with the rest of the team. Congratulations, enjoy
Congrats,
the celebrations, and we'll see you in Perth.
Thanks a lot.
Have great celebrations. See you soon.
Thank you so much, Todd. As you can see, it means so much to the team. So much is happening down here. It's been an incredible season. I cannot wait for the next one already.
How would you celebrate if you won this?
I think like that. I think they're doing a pretty good job of it.
They're doing a damn good job of celebrating. That brings an end to the Rolex SailGP Championship in 2025.
We'll see you next time, Todd.
All right, thank you very much, guys. Great work there in Abu Dhabi. So, Season 5 is now done and dusted, but don't get too comfortable because in about 8 weeks' time, we are back at it as Season 6 kicks off at the Oracle Perth Sail Grand Prix, January 17th and 18th.
Season 6 begins with an Antipodean triple stop, opening for the very first time in Perth, Australia. Famed for its consistent ocean breeze and wide open waters that promises fast technical racing and breathtaking drama. The city's vibrant waterfront and golden coastline provide the perfect backdrop for SailGP's high-speed foiling catamarans. Perth's natural beauty and endless sunshine is the ultimate stage to launch Season 6, before heading across the Tasman Sea to Auckland, New Zealand. Returning to one of the world's true sailing capitals, Auckland once again welcomes SailGP to its iconic Waitemata Harbour. Known as the City of Sails, Auckland delivers flowing sea breezes, challenging wind shifts, and a passionate fan base. The backdrop of the Hauraki Gulf provides a dramatic arena for foiling catamarans to fly at breathtaking speeds. With its rich maritime heritage and natural amphitheater conditions, Auckland is the perfect stage for SailGP to showcase its speed and precision. We then close out the opening run back on Australian waters in Sydney, giving teams one more chance to lock in early momentum. After a short break, the league heads to South America for a long-awaited debut in Rio de Janeiro, bringing fast racing to one of the world's most iconic coastlines. From there, the tour enters a run of North American racing, moving through warm island waters and dramatic backdrops before heading further up the coast to the unpredictable conditions of Halifax. Europe then takes center stage with record-breaking crowds packing the shoreline in Portsmouth and Sassnitz as the championship returns to familiar territory. The league then stops off in a still-to-be-announced Spanish location to round off the penultimate leg of the competition. And finally, everything builds towards a thrilling finish in the Middle East, showcasing sailing's fastest racing on water in front of the dramatic backdrop of Dubai, before it all comes down to the final showdown in Abu Dhabi, where the season reaches its climax as the top teams will fight for the ultimate prize in the Rolex SailGP Championship.
Well, the paint's barely dry on Season 5, and the EmiratesGBR team that wins the title, Stevie, as we look to Season 6, there's going to be a new team coming on board, and that's one of the big changes.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of changes, actually. I think the status quo we've seen is there. There's Artemis coming in, Nathan Outridge. I mean, let's be honest, the league's lacked him, hasn't it? I think the league's lacked Phil Robertson. Came back with the Italians. The Italians were second at this event in Abu Dhabi, you know, the single event here. I know for sure there's a lot of transfers.
Yes.
And we can't say it now, but I know in the next 2 weeks, certainly, you know, following on the YouTube and other sort of SailGP platforms, we're going to see a lot of that where we see these transfers, and there's definitely going to be some shake-ups. So as much as it's hard to look past those top 3 teams being, you know, the people everyone else has got to get past, it's going to be even tighter.
Tina, teams and personnel are one thing, but now new locations thrown in as well.
Yeah, and 2 new amazing locations in Perth and Rio. And, you know, sailors get used to the venues that they go to in each of the stops of the tour, but to throw in these 2 new venues is going to throw up an opportunity for some of the new teams, but also create a bit of a challenge for some of the more experienced teams, because not only are they having to get back into the season, but they're also going to have to learn these new venues. All
right, final thoughts before we say goodbye on the recap show. What are you going to take away from Season 5, other than your former teammates crushing it?
Well, I think it's been an incredible season. There's been so much action, so much drama, but the fact that 7 teams out of the 12 have won events this season has been really incredible. It is 8, you're right.
There you go.
8 with Rockwool Denmark taking the win in Abu Dhabi. And, you know, it just shows how the league is growing, how the level is getting higher all of the time. And I think it's really exciting for the future of the league.
Stevie?
Well, I just think it's shown you've got to be able to adapt. You've got to grow and learn as it goes on. And that might be equipment, or that might just be how the strategies change. And now there's just no room for error. Everyone, as Hannah says, is good enough to win. The top guys still get to the top. you know, so it's consistency that counts, but it's that execution under pressure. And yeah, I mean, it's just getting more exciting for me.
Yeah, and all the new tech coming on board, the T-foils, the 27.5-meter wing. What new toys will they introduce for Season 6? You'll have to stick around and find out. So that does it for our recap show. Once again, congratulations to EmiratesGBR. They are the champions of Season 5. The 2025 season comes to a conclusion in Abu Dhabi, and we look forward to Season 6, January 17th and 18th in Perth, Australia. For Stevie Morrison, Hannah Diamond, Lisa Darmanin, and Alex, I'm Todd Harris saying so long for now. We'll see you in the new year.
What a season. From massive crowds to heart-pounding speed. Go over 103! SailGP delivered non-stop action from the first start gun to the final finish. The drama. Oh, huge! The rivalry. The unforgettable moments. This is the season we won't forget.
Fletcher's masterclass.
The British have arrived. The Emirates winning moment goes the way to EmiratesGBR. They are the Season 5 champions.